Greetings and salutations, everyone. Dror coming with another recorded game, the 7th in our replay analytics series, and my goodness, it has been some time. There has been quite a break since we did the last episode of this series. A lot of things have happened. I've been getting into some professional voice acting work, which has been keeping me very busy, as well as starting my own YouTube channel, which was a big learning curve. But I won't bore you with the details. The important information is I now have more free time since the summer has come, and I am excited. I am rejuvenated to look at more replays. In case you haven't seen this series before, this is where I look at replays that get sent in. I give my feedback, tell the players what they are doing well, what they could possibly be doing better, and overall just give my reaction to the gameplay. So, this week's game has been sent in by Titansblade. That's his in-game name, but I believe on ESOC he goes by Grip of Iron. And this game is a few months old, but I think it can still be relevant. He posted this in a thread, and somebody suggested that I cast it, which I'm going to do now. So, I believe both of these players are around PR 20, at least at the time of this recording. And so certainly not the highest level game, but we can still take some information away, and we all have to start somewhere. So let's get right into it. In the south of the map, in the color blue, playing as the British, we do have Titansblade, or Grip of Iron. And in the north of the map, in the color red, playing as the French, we do have Eraldo, his opponent. This is on RE patch, this is on Great Plains, so obviously the hunts aren't going to be very balanced. The French players' hunts aren't that great. But that just comes with being on RE patch. Using your crack shot to take down this coyote is not the best use of the crack shot ability. I mean, the 30 food isn't bad, although some may argue that you should be spending your time looking for beefier treasures. But I would certainly suggest that you could kite that coyote, not use your crack shot, and save it for some of these beefier treasures, like this 80 wood here. That would be a much better use for your crack shot rather than the 30 wood and the 30 food, excuse me. And not really moving your scout after you collect that treasure. That is actually a pretty notable problem, because I mean, I guess in lower level games, the first stage is not considered to be as important, but as you get better, the first stage, it's critical. It's critical to scout out the map, no matter what level you're at, and see what your opponent's doing. Obviously, you're playing against a French player. France is a very versatile civilization. They can be aggressive, they can boom, they can do a fortress timing, a colonial timing. They can do lots of things. So it is of the utmost importance that you scout what your opponent's doing. Still not moving your scout. Would really recommend that you keep an eye, even hotkey your scout, just to make sure he is moving around the map looking for these beefy treasures. French player collecting 70 coin, which some people argue that coin treasures aren't the best either, but 70 coin for a few coyotes, especially since he kited it relatively well. Didn't take a lot of damage. Certainly a worthwhile treasure. Will help getting his hunting dogs if he lays down a market, which I'm sure he will with the 100 wood start. Or, you know what, maybe I don't know. With RE patch, not quite sure. Keeping his native scout here in the corner, also not the best way to use your scout. Has picked up 50 coins, so he's picked up like 120 coin, which is actually pretty good. Still not moving your scout, but I won't dwell on that any longer. Shipping 3 villagers, good card. Good card. I mean, obviously, it's kind of a mandatory first stage card. Although, you know, there are certain players like Azak who don't really follow that standard. Going with the 1 manor, that's fine. Okay, finally moving your scout here. This is good. I want to see what you're going to do with your scout. See if you're going to find any treasures, or at least know what your opponent's doing. Your opponent has terrible hunts. My goodness. He really got screwed as far as hunts. Getting another treasure here. Looks like he's going to pick up 50 wood. So, the one thing I would say, at least in the start, and obviously, you know, at this level there are bigger things to worry about, but your opponent is being much more proactive with his scout than you are. And obviously, sometimes it's just a slip of the mind. It can happen, but really want to make sure that you're using that scout effectively. But I won't harp on that any longer. Chopping wood. Very good. I'm excited to see what you're going to do with that wood. See what kind of build order you're going to go for here. Pretty standard stuff in the first stage. You haven't done a magnificent job herding. You got a big bison herd out here that really needs to be like right here, right under your TC. Because if he does like a very standard French build, like a 5 cav semi-FF, these villagers are in a lot of danger. And you don't have a lot of food left in your base. Your initial bison are pretty much run out. Putting down the market. So deciding not to go with... Okay, I don't know why he's using his native scout to siege. Scouts have terrible siege. Looks like we have... Well, I was gonna say they're forward core, some French villagers here. I'm sorry. I always mispronounce it. But it looks like he's just gathering this way far out hunt. You have a very big advantage here in the fact that your opponent's hunts are absolutely terrible. Let's see, have some idle vills. Okay.
Hiya?
What is this vill doing out here? Getting hunting dogs, that's good. You're gonna have that before you age up, which is gonna be nice. It looks like you aged up with 15 vills, which isn't bad. Putting down your second manor. It looks like you got the 500 food age up. And, okay. I like how you used the TC pop there. It was a little slow, but it's good that you're practicing that because it's those small things that really define the good players and the great players. Looks like the French player is going to lay down 2 TPs, which is going to mean he's getting those shipments very quickly, going with the 400 wood. Pretty standard stuff so far. Yeah, your resource split is... I'm questioning your resource split a little bit. I don't really necessarily know what your build order is here. Again, your herding is... This bison herd really needs to come in here, and you can see it, so I would really stress, your herding initially. I mean, because you got a villager way out here that's very exposed. These villagers aren't bad, but this bison is going to run out quickly. There's only about 300 food left on it. 6 vills on coin, shipping 700 wood, making 5 musks. So, okay, so you built the forward rack. So, going to go with a little bit more of an aggressive build here, which, given that your opponent has almost no food near his town center, actually might play to your favor. So, looks like you're starting to gather in this bison herd, which is good. 700 wood coming down, good card. One of the best in the game. Your guy is still just sieging this market with, your opponent is still sieging the market with the scout, which, yeah, I mean, I guess he has a view of your town, so, but, okay, bringing your muskets back. I don't really know what you're doing with your muskets. They're kind of just standing here. If you're going to make military units, you want to make sure that, you're getting those resources paid off in some way. So you're spending a lot of resources on these military units, and you really need to do something with them. So poke in the base. How well have you scouted? So you haven't really scouted the base super effectively. I mean, you see all these dead animals here, but you don't really know what your opponent has, which is a problem. I think just the biggest issue right now is that your awareness of the map is pretty poor. I mean, you do know that he has the trading post, but there's a lot of the map that's still uncovered. Okay, so it looks like you got 10 musks. That's fine. Getting this hunt in, that's very good. Only 3 manors so far, idle vills here. You want to make sure that those are doing something. And see, this goes back to the herding thing. If you had started herding these way earlier, these villagers wouldn't have to be doing all of this walking, and they'd be able to gather much more efficiently. Okay, your 700 wood has come. Gather it up as quickly as possible. All right, what is your opponent here doing? Okay, he's got, yeah, due to his horrible hunts, I mean, Yeah, he's walking villagers all over the map, but it's honestly because he has hunt. He doesn't have any hunt. So I won't berate him much through there. You're going to start sieging down this trading post, which is fine.
I am sorry, Grieve. I may not steer.
And it looks like you're gonna be driven off. Yeah, took a lot of unnecessary damage there. And you're gonna take more damage. And your opponent's doing a good job taking good fights, although he's not using all of these villagers. Really needs to get them going. Both of you are having a little bit of a hard time managing your villagers effectively, which PR20, that's understandable. Your 700 wood is still not gathered yet, and you're only gathering with one vill. So take this vill that's been chopping wood and put him on this, and maybe even take a vill from this coin mine. Starting to put up a bunch of manors now, which is fine. I mean, it's efficient. But I don't know if your build order necessarily has a specific purpose. I feel like you've been making muskets, and you put a forward Rax, but you haven't been playing aggressively, which makes me wonder what your build is doing here. Obviously, your opponent is playing very aggressively because he needs to, because he doesn't. His map is barren. Putting up an outpost here, that's not a bad idea for him. All right, you're making more musks. I think you've seen that he's making muskets, so perhaps adding in some longbow to your composition would be beneficial. Let's see, musketeer grenadier damage, very good. That's going to give your musketeers an edge. Let's see, does he have a musketeer card in his deck? No, he has no improvement cards in his deck, so your musks are going to be better. Plus, you have British musketeers, which are very good. So it looks like you're going with a manor boom here, which is on RE. That's a solid British strategy. I mean, British are very good at booming. I have a couple of concerns at this point. One, your military is very disconnected from your base, which is worrisome. Getting your steel traps and your placer mines, I almost think those could have come in a little bit earlier. But you're getting them now, so that's good. Getting a lot of manors up. Wow. Your Vill population is going to be very good. You're at 33 right now compared to his 27. So not great, but, you know, you're getting there. Okay. This Rax is what is got me confused, because you're making units, but you're just walking them back to your base, which makes me wonder why you'd put this forward Rax here. Okay, so looks like, are you going to be playing this in Age 2? Looks like you're starting to stock up for the 3rd age. That's good. Maybe sending 700 coin would be good. Maybe sending 700 coin and getting some of these vills off coin, so you can increase your food outcome. And you're going to outnumber his army here. And if you take this fight well, you know, with the card you have, you should be able to mop this up. Looks like you're just going to retreat, though. Not a bad idea. It's a good thing to know what his army's doing, to poke. Okay. I don't know why he sent that musk forward, but there's 100 resources lost. So you're in a really good spot right now. You've gotten kind of lucky with the map, and you have the opportunity to push here, and if you took out these, well, now that I say that, he does have reinforcing musks. But if you were able to take that fight and put pressure on these vills, he has no other food economy. Basically because, you know, the map has kind of screwed him over. But right now, he's just gathering with impunity. And again, I would recommend that, you know, your muskets are going to be very good, but I would recommend, you know, you are going to go up to, you see, you're going up to Age 3 here, but you almost have enough coin to, you know, you're at 700 coin. So I think if you're going to send the 700 coin, I would recommend taking some of these vills off coin. So when you have about 300 coin, you know, take them off. You gather the resources you need in the moment, is what I'll say there. And then you have 3 vills on wood. I'm guessing that's just for manors. But obviously, you know, if they were on food or coin, that'd be a little more efficient. You know, try to rely on your wood shipments for that, rather than using a lot of villagers to gather. All right, pretty standard stuff. You were at about 1,500 food there, so you overgathered a little bit, but not bad. Going to the third age. And what is your opponent doing? So your opponent's now aged, which is meaning... Okay. Something I want to point out, your opponent's... He's got 5 Coureur de Bois in queue, which is not an efficient use of resources. But that's alright. I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little too critical here. I just want to... I want to be as helpful as possible. Let's see. Okay, so he's got veteran musks now, so... I mean, you do have the musk card still. So, they're not going to be that much of a disadvantage, but you're still going to get beat here by these veteran musks. And he has seen your forward racks, and because it's not close to your base, and because, you know, your military is kind of been in your base the whole game, you really have no way to protect this racks. And it just seems like an awkward placement to me. You're putting another racks in your base, so that tells me that you're kind of giving up on this racks. I mean, you outnumber him in muskets, but he's going to have some scary third age shipments coming soon. What has he got coming? Nothing yet. Did he ship 1,000 wood? I think he shipped 1,000 wood. Which is good. It's a good shipment. Looks like he's going to start pushing in here with this musk mass. And it looks like you're going to start pushing out as well. But you'll probably have to come back here. Nope. Looks like you might keep pushing. And I would... Oh, do you see this? Okay, so you see these dead animals. This is a really telling sign. So a big thing is you notice these dead animals and know that he's hunting there.
Now.
Okay, you're taking out the trading post, which is... I mean, that's a good target. He has advanced trading post, which means they're very strong. But you're going to be able to take that out. Sending 6 musks. Going to the third age. Okay. Did you age with 6 longbow? Because that would be... Okay, you did. So that's going to be very good. 6 longbow mixed in with your musks is going to do very well against these veteran musks. He's just kind of sitting. I don't know what he's doing. He really needs to start coming down here and protecting his resources. I would say both of you have been pretty inefficient with your armies so far. But we all have to start somewhere. Okay, so it looks like he moved his vills. He is effectively off food now. So that was very good by you, but I would say push it even farther. So continue to be aggressive. He's gonna have a severe lack of food, going all to coin now. So, oh, looks like he's gonna lay down. Okay, so this is a good response by your opponent. He realizes I have almost no food on my side of the map, so I'm gonna slam down an artillery foundry, put my vills on coin, and get out some. I'm guessing he's going for falconets. So this is a good response by your opponent. I mean, he's obviously in a kind of a bad spot, but he's responding to that very well. You're shipping 2 falcons, which you've only seen muskets so far, so I mean that's a good shipment. You got veteran musketeer, which is very good. All right, what else? You're gonna take out his native scout. He's laying down a second town center. Okay, this is pretty good. He is putting it on a hunt, which means he's going to be able to secure that more. Ooh. Oh, you almost saw that with your army, which if you had seen that with your army, you probably could have just sieged that TC down. And his army's so far away, and it's inferior at this point. Oh, but look at this. Out come 4 falconets. He needs to get his musketeers up to protect those. Yeah, the French player really needs to unify his army and make some kind of push. Because, well, how are you doing on food? Yeah, you're not super high on food either. So the food is getting scarce. So this is where the action, I think, is really going to start picking up. And his Coureur de Bois going to run away. Oh, your falconets are going to get caught in a bad spot. And, oh. Okay, I'm gonna pause that there because that was significant. So... Obviously, you didn't know that he had 4 falconets there, but you always want to make sure.
Yes.
I mean, look how much space is between your cannons. Your cannons are coming this way, and your infantry is coming this way. I mean, you probably wouldn't have been able to save them, but just losing 2 cannons for free like that is devastating. And now your army is severely outclassed. I mean, you don't have that artillery support, so yeah, you've got to run. And at this point, the French player definitely has the advantage. will point
Ready.
out that your 6
Yes?
longbows, or 7 longbows,
Ready.
have not moved. They should really be with your army. I mean, I can see why they're maybe like protecting this hunt, but 7 longbows aren't going to protect your hunt that well. Not against this kind of aggression. I've noticed that neither of you have made cav yet, which is very interesting. I feel like that would be the answer right now is to get a stable and make some Hussar. Oh, and this fight's gonna be brutal. Yeah, you're gonna lose these vills. You are gonna. I mean, your musketeers will get there in time, but the damage is gonna be done. And because your longbows weren't with the rest of your army, they got isolated and they got annihilated. Alright, let's see this fight here. Okay, gonna send some of them into melee mode. But, I mean, yeah, your muskets are just gonna get obliterated. And that's the end of the game. So, yeah. There was a lot here. Obviously, you know, this is still pretty low level, so I won't try to be too harsh, but I guess I'll just leave it to 3 things. Number 1, your scouting. Your scouting was you didn't really ever have a great idea of what your opponent was doing or where your opponent was. So like if earlier in the game you had seen that he had an outpost there, and when you had that superior musk card right after you got that musk damage, you should have pressed that advantage before your opponent reached the fortress age. And if you had done that, you know, he might not have even had the food to age up. And then just in the first stage, not using your scout to get treasures, you basically allowed your opponent to get all the good treasures. Although this 80 wood never got gathered by either of you, which is pretty insane. Your second thing is your I guess I would just say your army composition. Just pure musk with the 2 falcons, but you know, especially in high level, you really want to have a balanced composition. So when you saw that he went musks, you know, mixing in some longbow, putting down a stable and making Hussar. You know, when you saw you had cannons, rather than try to respond with your own cannons, you know, it would be much more cost effective to just have some Hussar. Because, I mean, if you had a stable here and 5 Hussar popped out, and, you know, his cannons are completely exposed, you could have taken out 4 falcons.
Commandment.
And it just would have been a great trade for you. And then the third thing is just the build order. I'm not necessarily sure what you were planning here. You kind of did a manor boom, but you had the forward racks, and then you kind of went up to the 3rd age. So the biggest thing I would suggest is have a specific build order. You know, if you're going to manor boom hard. If you're going to do a forward racks, be aggressive. Use your military units to poke into your opponent's base. And just know why you're doing what you're doing. So that is it for me. Grip of Iron, thank you for putting this replay up. I hope I wasn't too harsh. You know, disclaimer, I am not a very good player at all myself. But I have watched a lot of Age of Empires 3, so I kind of know what it takes to be a good player, even though I am not one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recording. If you guys want to send me a recording and get my feedback,
Yes.
just send me a message on eso-community.net. But until then, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.